Summer hasn't technically started, but the summer LEGO set season has, with some sets already released and many more already revealed. So many summer 2025 LEGO sets are amazing, but there's also been a lot of letdowns for LEGO sets we've wanted for ages. So I'll start off my list with the $210 LEGO City 20th Anniversary set, the City Tower. This is not a bad set at all. I think it definitely appeals more so towards kids. There's just a fun mix of a bunch of different city themes here, but I feel it would be dishonest to leave this off the list because I had admittedly unrealistic expectations for this set. When I heard 20th anniversary LEGO City set that was going to be over $200, if you saw the original leak video, I thought this was going to be like this Bricklink design program construction site set. I don't know, I was thinking of an 18 plus LEGO City set, and this is clearly an 8 plus LEGO City set. While I don't care for the police and fire stations or space station attached to the top of this build, I like everything else here. I get why they're there. It's celebrating 20 years of LEGO City. So yeah, it was just my unrealistic expectations, and I still think this is a solid set. My favorite parts would be the metro train as well as the apartment building, which are two things we don't really get from LEGO City. I'd probably call this the best set on this list, but there's some things that really annoy me about this set. This is one of the two LEGO Sonic Summer 2025 sets. We'll get to the other set later on this list. But this just shows the limited scope of this LEGO Sonic theme, where we've gotten 15 sets over the span of 3 years, 5 for each year for LEGO minifigure Sonic sets. And this is one of 2 Robotnik mechs. Like, yeah, we got one 2 summers ago. So it's a repetitive idea, but yeah, at least it's not Green Hill Zone since we get so many of that, unfortunately. And speaking of the theme's limited scope, it bothers me how this set has no new characters for the LEGO Sonic theme, nor does it have any new variants of the 2 characters they have with Knuckles and Dr. Eggman. I find it interesting that this set is based on something from Sonic Prime, which is a TV show. Sure, I'd wish that there's more stuff based off of video games, but I don't think I'm disappointed with that aspect. At least this is something actually from the world of Sonic and not just an original creation by LEGO. Though whatever the heck Knuckles is riding is made up. I mean, no, it's not Extreme Gear. Stop saying it is. And I do think they do a fine job translating that mech from the show into the set. The build for this looks pretty cool. The design of this though does not feel like it's worth the $45 price tag it has in the United States, which yes, I know tariffs are affecting a lot of the prices of the sets on this list, but then you look at something like the LEGO One Piece theme, which has excellent prices. This set retails for $80 and it has 900 pieces and it definitely shows. The big pirate ship is a very solid $140 for what's included. So even considering the tariffs, it's hard to excuse something like this, which is about the size of the Knuckles mech, being $45, while that set was $35. And so many of us have been asking for an Oscorp set for LEGO Spider-Man, and I'm not sure this is a set a lot of us wanted. This is one of the most overpriced sets of the summer at $140. I mean, everything in here looks like it would be an $80 set at most. Even if you're a price per piece ratio person, this has 808 pieces. The design of this is a very odd choice where we get a main Oscorp build, something that's very much in the style of the 2013 LEGO Daily Bugle set, which is strange because we haven't really seen buildings from the Spider-Man line quite like those 2 sets. Then again, this is piggybacking off of the Spider-Verse set as well as the Peter Parker apartment sets, which these seemingly all connect. But the interior of Oscorp is about on a level of that 2013 set, even though this is 12 years later. Then they just kind of randomly throw in Eddie Brock's apartment, which is above a convenience store. I get what they're doing there. Then also this jewelry store, which they could have really gotten rid of this building. I mean, yeah, there's some cool Easter eggs, but I would have just rather had a cheaper set. Then there's the minifigure selection, which feels like a rehash of so many minifigures. We have the Spider-Woman from that really crappy $30 set earlier this year. We have Miles, who was found in a $15 set last year. We have the design of Ghost Spider, who's found in so many sets. A classic old Spider-Man who's found in so many sets. At least Kraven the Hunter finally returns, which I know a lot of people will be happy about that. And while I do like the Eddie Brock setup here with the Venom head at the back, like that's a really cool image. I don't like how he seemingly reuses the Winter Soldier's face print. Norman Osborn already reusing a piece from Harry Potter that was recently reused with the Bag End set. At least that new Green Goblin is a really cool design, and that's based off a specific comic appearance. Add on Miles' motorcycle, which is a crappy build, and this is just a culmination of poor build choices, a ridiculous price, and some very weak minifigures. Honestly, even though I have nostalgia for this being like a Daily Bugle building, I kind of wish we just got a modular Oscorp. That would have been really satisfying. Speaking of overpriced sets, we have the LEGO Animal Crossing Blathers Museum. This is a building I've wanted for LEGO Animal Crossing for quite a bit, and the execution sucks. The design of the exterior, sure, matches the size of the exterior in-game, but the interior feels so cramped, doesn't cover most of the sections of the museum. We're missing parts like the coffee shop. That would be fine if this was a $50 set, but this is an $80 set and the 543 piece count shows. It's crazy how a fifth of this set's build goes to this random grassland right here. This has nothing to do with the museum. I guess they want to illustrate some of the animals you could catch outside, but why waste so much space on this build that is nearly indistinguishable to builds found in other Animal Crossing sets? I also think the Triceratops fossil build feels very downsized and simple for what it's trying to illustrate. And it's very frustrating that this is an $80 set and it only has 2 minifigures. At least throw in one more minifigure with so many characters that can be made as minifigures in this theme. Well, just compare this set to a set from another video game that also releases in the summer. This is the Durr Burger set from Fortnite. This has 3 more pieces and yet it's $15 cheaper. It also has 2 more minifigures. Well, that's if you count a skeleton. And just look at the detail on these minifigures. Sure, I guess this museum also gives us a new headpiece since we're getting the frog piece for the first time, but I do think the Durr Burger head is a lot more detailed of a new piece, and the minifigures in general are just a lot more detailed. Again, aside from the skeleton, but that would still leave one more detailed minifigure than the ones in this set. I think the build for this is also an undersized build, but at least this isn't an $80 set, and it feels like it isn't missing out anything important. I was also dying to get a Fantastic Four Lego set. This is not it. This is based off the new movie, and Lego really skimped out on the minifigures in this set. And we once again get a buildable figure that's styled like an action figure in a set that has minifigures. It's very jarring. Just bring back that old style of giant Lego minifigure. I'm still glad the expected roundness of Galactus' design in general fits some minifigure ideas with like a round head there compared to say the Giant Man, which was a complete flop from that Civil War set earlier this year, but it is still very disappointing. The design of the Fantastic Four in here are so weak. I mean, look, there's no dual molded legs where you have to use some Brazo on the Condiment Man from one Lego Batman set, which is jumping up in price because of this idea. And the thing looks like they have very incorrect proportions. There's previous minifigures we could have mined from to get inspiration for a figure like this. It's like the ones from Team NT or that Axel from Nexo Knights, which we could have gone with a similar design. Heck, even use a more recent design like the Baymax arms from Disney 100 series. But no, there's no new pieces with this figure aside from the added head piece at the very top. It looks strange when you have those big clobbering gauntlet pieces, which are just a recolor of one we've seen in other Lego Marvel sets, and it felt inappropriate there. Yeah, this is not an Infinity Gauntlet. Very weak minifigure overall. The design of Mr. Fantastic is strange. You would have expected that he has stretchy arms like Elastigirl or like Miss Marvel, but nope, there's no stretchy arms there. Instead, they have this terrible brick build of legs. The legs have boots for some reason when the other minifigures don't have boots, but they're like appointed 1x2. Poor choices, and yeah, 3 out of the 4 team members have the same exact torso print, and the siblings of Johnny and Sue Storm have some very common reused pieces. The $60 price sucks. This would have been a fantastic $40 set. Ha ha ha. But no, seriously. I mean, price per piece, 427 pieces. Other buildable figure sets are $35, and the build of this literally is just the buildable figure. Throw in 4 minifigures. Again, 40 bucks. Perfect price. Somehow there was an extra 20 added. I think it's unnecessary to say that I'm a Lego Toy Story diehard fan. It's my favorite Lego theme along with Simpsons if we're counting licenses. So I was deeply saddened to see that the 30th anniversary Lego Toy Story set we're getting is a superficial 4+ Toy Story train set. This is a sequel to the Disney 100 Celebration train set, which both of them are an overpriced $40. But unlike that set, this only has 4 minifigures. That set at least had a whopping 6 minifigures. I guess Lego was like, well, there's actually 8 characters if you count the 3 army men in RC, but come on, no. The army men at least have a new color, where the last RC set gave us them in, I guess, a less accurate green than what's found in this set. The design of RC might be our worst RC yet, but I guess it's not terrible for 4 Plus RC. I do like the Toy Story 4 Plus RC better, which had better eyes in my opinion, but neither get close to topping that 2010 RC, which is an excellent build. The design of the Toy Story train is a very head-scratching choice. The front doesn't give me any Toy Story vibes. Like, you would think they would go with the Western train from Toy Story 3, but it's just a random colored train. The middle section has Buzz in his box. It could also just be a random Buzz spaceship. It's hard to tell with how simple the build is. And then the section for Bo Peep in her lamp is very lame. It doesn't really invoke the feeling of the Bo Peep lamp setup. 4 Plus sets have loads of prints. Why not just print the lampshade? That would have helped a little bit. Oh, I guess you could count the 3 sheep as an extra character in here. That's another odd printing choice, which when I reviewed this set, some people were really down for that. I don't know, I would have liked a specialized piece there. The best part of this set, though, is the Bo Peep minifigure, which is an excellent minifigure. Yes, I'd prefer if this had molded heads, but we're so past Toy Story molded heads, unfortunately. This is great for a minifigure of Toy Story's Bo Peep. Love the new hair hat combo, or hair bonnet combo, technically. The design of Buzz Lightyear is pretty cool. I like how this is distinct from previous Buzz Lightyear regular minifigure head versions where there's like a lighter design for the purple. Also using body armor and wing pieces introduced with the Lightyear set. But then you have cut corners where this is the first time we're not getting printing at the quote-unquote feet, as well as no side leg printing once again, which the 2016 Buzz did better than this set and the Toy Story 4 Buzz Lightyear. The Woody and Jessie are awful, where this is the first minifigure head Woody to not have dual molded legs. They just give us regular blue pants, which is a huge cut corner. The design of Jessie has a new leg piece technically, only because they also don't give us dual molded legs. It looks very strange, but at least she has shoe printing when none of the other minifigures do. So many strange choices with this set, which are just steps backwards from sets like the 2019 Toy Story 4 sets. That was 6 years ago, and this set is worse in many of its minifigures. I don't know why LEGO's so insistent on only giving us 4 Plus Toy Story sets. It's sad that the only new Toy Story sets to not get 4 Plus releases were the Lightyear sets, because that movie stunk. Like, how does the Minions movies and Despicable Me, which I feel are even more aimed towards kids, get regular sets and 4 Plus sets, but Toy Story is restricted to 4 Plus? Same with Incredibles. And the much worse LEGO Sonic Summer 2025 set is the Team Sonic Command Truck. I expected the flagship LEGO Sonic set to be good for the summer. This is something that's completely made up by LEGO. Again, so many ideas you could put in LEGO Sonic sets, and you're just making up random stuff, something that's happened before. This comes off like a weird reskin of that LEGO Movie 2 Party Van set, which I think is superior in just about every way. The design of this doesn't really give me any Sonic feels. What, you got a checkerboard base right here. Ooh, Green Hill Zone reference. Reference another zone, dang it. The ping pong table build is cute, admittedly. And there's one part that's going to make me buy this set, which is the 2x4 Chow Garden screen print. Look, I spent years of my childhood in that. You gotta excuse me. I also like the Badnik builds, admittedly. The Caterkiller is a very solid design, which has a new face print. Burrowbot is awesome, even with no new pieces on that build. But speaking of no new pieces, there's no new prints for the minifigure selection, which again, there's so many characters you could capture in the world of Sonic, and we're stuck to characters that come in cheaper sets. The Cyclone is a much better set with Metal Sonic and Tails, which was half the price of this set. That's the same Tails from the boat set of last year. The best thing I could say is at least this isn't overpriced. Like, it's a good price per piece ratio at $70 for 747 pieces, and the sizing is fine for the price. But if I didn't feel obligated to getting every LEGO Sonic set, I would just skip this and bricklink a piece or two. More dreams were destroyed when LEGO finally gave us our minifigure scale Balrog, which is in this $130 LEGO Lord of the Rings Book Nook set. I don't like anything about this set. Okay, I like the fire designs, but geez, is this such a poor interpretation of the build that you would find in this specific scene, restricted to its Book Nook format? Yeah, it's also trying to go for a quote set of all things, where you have the "you shall not pass" quote there. Refer to the Sherlock Holmes set if you want to see a good book nook and display piece. That set is the same price at $130, yet it has 150 pieces more, and I think it shows. That has a lot more minifigures as well. This just has Gandalf. You could throw the Fellowship in here. I mean, yeah, it's not this specific section of the build that's supposed to have the Fellowship, but make that value feel like it's worth it. The build for the bridge is pathetic, but yeah, Balrog. Oh my gosh, this looks weaker than, say, the Surtur set from LEGO Marvel, which was what, $30? And I feel like those are similar looking creatures. It feels like they regulated a lot of the face of Balrog to these two pieces below that top part of the head. When I look at the character from the movies or in the LEGO Lord of the Rings game, it feels like they spaced out the face a lot more. Something looks really off with this design. It also looks extremely undersized compared to the minifigure of Gandalf included in the set. I also hate how the wings aren't even brick built. They use one of those, what I call them, film pieces, but really they're like a thin translucent plastic. And that was something that we saw with the Fell Beast. It's the same exact design from that giveaway promo last year. And I guess it's easy to figure out, but the most disappointing set of summer 2025 for me is this How to Train Your Dragon Toothless set. This is wrong on so many levels. I've wanted a LEGO How to Train Your Dragon set for years. A Hiccup minifigure in a nice buildable toothless design would be absolutely amazing. Or we get so many dragons from other themes, like the Ninjago theme has become dragons and mechs. And those are excellent dragon builds. To see that translated to toothless would have been perfect. But no, we get this terrible looking chibi toothless design. This looks more like Stitch than toothless, which is a weird, unintentionally cruel joke. Chris Sanders directed Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon, and apparently the toothless design from the original movie was kind of based off of the Stitch design and adorableness. Regardless, I did not want another buildable Stitch with my LEGO How to Train Your Dragon. The build for the top half of this head might be the best part, but it kind of gets crappy after that. The jaw feels way too thin. The body build and legs are terrible. I mean, the legs are giving me spider feelings for the bottom half, but are also reminding me of that awful The Last Jedi set that nobody liked. The wings are absolutely pathetic. This is something that wrote itself. Literally, just give us a detailed toothless build. You didn't even have to include Hiccup. I would want Hiccup, but whatever. If it didn't have Hiccup and it was just a really detailed toothless and not a chibi version, would have been the perfect LEGO set. But no, we're stuck with a $70 mistake. This is something that would have made sense if it was geared towards kids, but there's not really any posability to the body build. It's an 18+ set for some reason. This would have been more excusable if it was like an 8+ set, then it would have made sense, but I don't know what LEGO was trying to go for here. This isn't even based off the animated classic, but rather it's based off what looks to be an uninspired live-action remake. And that's it for my disappointing LEGO Summer 2025 sets list. There's more Summer 2025 sets that should be revealed soon. We'll see if any deserve to be on this list. Let me know if there were any sets that I missed out that should be on this list in the comments below. Leaving a comment really helps so much with the algorithm in this video. The same goes for liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Thank you for watching. Check out my other LEGO list videos, and I'll see you later. Peace out. Bye.